Hi everyone, welcome to this reading. I have my bowl of water off to the side, so I will be scrying throughout this message. If you're new to my channel, my readings are a little different. If you're returning, welcome back. You know how we do if it doesn't resonate with you. If you're forcing the story to fit, arguing with it in any way, just leave it behind for the people who it's meant for. So let's go ahead and let's begin. Taking a step aside, and allowing spirit to pass through me. Opening up to receive information. Okay. Very interesting. So I have this energy, it's kind of hitting me. It feels a little bit like this message is going to be for people who know that they have mediumship ability, or they're waking up to the fact that they have a mediumship ability. If you're unfamiliar with the term mediumship, mediumship just means that you see spirits, that you're aware of spirits, and that you can communicate with spirits. And that's the part that most people don't realize, is that you can actually communicate with spirits. A lot of times people who are mediums, they are also psychic empaths. So they will receive feelings from people that are miles away, that they haven't talked to in years, you know, and usually they go through a period of time where they have to understand what energy is theirs and what energy isn't theirs. This is one reason why they have the ability that they have, is because it's tapping into subtle energy. Now, for whoever this message is for, the subtle energy is now expanding into interdimensional energies. So there's something about a spirit that somebody has recently been experiencing that feels a little bit more dark, and I'm just saying dark because I think that for some of you it isn't. It's just other, okay? There's this feeling that this is very elusive, and it's almost like flitting in and out, and so there's no way to get concrete information about it. So that is who this message is for, okay? Okay. We have Stargate Heart, Stargate Heart, Heart Chakra opening, unlocking, and generosity. I feel like that's actually the energy that somebody is working on, which is why this energy is kind of locking in. I'm not going to explain these things in the obvious way. There's 1,000,001 people out there that can explain it to you the obvious way, which is that there's something outside of you that you're experiencing. I'm going to explain this a little bit differently. Okay, I'm going to talk about this in terms of the whole shtick of this channel, as above, so below. So there is essentially something that's going on within this heart process where there is a deeper, darker energy that is starting to emerge. It may be a little elusive, and because we are working through this energy, now we have this manifesting in our 3D as well, with an interdimensional being that is able to appear within our reality, that is also representing whatever this energy is. This is one of the reasons why spirit communication is so fascinating, because we can communicate with spirits, we can help spirits, and we're not just helping spirits, we're also helping ourselves on a deep psychological and emotional, spiritual level. So there's this energy that's coming through here, that this current experience that someone is navigating, it is mirroring an experience that's happening internally. And the way that the reading is going, the guidance isn't about what's outside of you, because as you take care of what's inside of you, naturally what's outside of you gets taken care of as well. So this is, remember, your mind is not in your body. Okay? This is one of the reasons why the first principle inside of the Kybalion for the 7 Hermetic Principles is universe is mind, and that's the first principle to be understood. So there's this interconnection here of experience. Okay, so if we think of things in terms of an interconnection of experience, as you clear out whatever this elusive energy is inside of your heart space, this will naturally go. Okay, it's like you naturally help whatever it is, and it goes. If it's something that needs help, sometimes it's not something that needs help, it's something that needs fleshed out. So if you are someone who is currently interacting with this energy, it's a good idea to ask, what can you show me about this, right? What can you show me about this thing that's eluding me? And because there's information that's going to be stored there. Will it come in the form of a natural sentence response? Not if it's dark aligned, not if it's a darker energy. If it's a darker energy, it will basically change your emotions and your thought patterns to be more negative, so that you can isolate what's actually in there. So pay attention to your thoughts and your emotions going forward as this thing is inside of your field. One of the other informations that's coming through in this card is basically telling me pay attention to where in your space it manifests. So if it's manifesting in, like, say, a bathroom, think about what the bathroom is, right? Depending where in the bathroom it is. Your toilet, you flush waste, right? You process waste, you release waste. Your sink, you wash your hands of something, right? Your bathroom is a place that functionally we release things that inside of our life that no longer belong there, whether it's washing the dirt off of you and becoming clean. So think about where in your home it is, and think about the symbolic meaning of that space, right? Our bedroom is, what does that mean to you, right? Is it something having to deal with your sexuality, or is it something having to do with your vulnerability? Because the two are pretty close. So is it a place where you go and you refresh? Is it a place where you go and you sleep and maybe you're a dream warrior and you know, you meet Freddy Krueger? No, just you like, you know, do your spiritual things. Maybe your dreaming is your altar. So is it a deeply sacred temple for you inside of your bedroom? So think about what those areas of your house mean to you if it's something that you're experiencing within your home. If it's not something that you're experiencing with your home, same rule applies, right? Where are you experiencing it? How are you experiencing it? It's all symbolic language. Our reality is constantly a symbolic language, right? One of the things that I've done before on my channel memberships when I've had my lives is, oh no, it's the Zoom classes that I do. I've read the space that somebody's in to tell them what's going on inside of their life, because we're constantly filling our space and we're constantly moving to spaces and surrounding ourselves with spaces that are symbolically telling us something about what's going on internally and what we're experiencing. Okay. Yeah. I think that as somebody navigates this energy, I do think that it's coming to one place for many people. And that one place here is in the mothering, okay? For some of you, this is going to be literal. It's going to be with your mother. For others of you, it's going to be how you mother your own heart space, okay? There is this energy that collectively I am noticing is coming out for people where they're realizing that they haven't necessarily, you know, they've learned self-love, they've learned all these things, but they haven't necessarily learned to love their heart space. So this can look like, for example, if we put a lot of pressure on ourselves not to be gaslit, or we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to have boundaries to make sure that people don't act a certain way, and we think it's about them, but in reality it's almost like punishing our heart and not allowing it to do what it's supposed to, which is love. Yes, I see that. Yes, I see that. And I'll take that as confirmation. And I noticed that it floated about here, which is the higher heart. And so the higher heart is the center of love. I always look at the heart chakra as like the giving and receiving center, which is why it covers money and love, just because those are things that are also have to do with giving and receiving, right? And that the actual form of love is in the higher heart. So when we are, for example, if you're having a hard time with a heart chakra healing, pay attention to the time that you're giving and you're receiving. Okay, are you receiving enough time for things, or are you giving away time? Are you not giving enough time to other people? So time is another energy that we give and we receive. So when we have this higher heart energy, this is really an activation of our ability not just to love others. That's the way that it's always presented, is loving others. But it's how can we love ourselves more fully, right? There's I like myself, there's I love myself, so I'm going to do these things for myself, I'll take care of myself. And then there's I genuinely love myself, which means I respect my heart space, I will protect it from people that disrespect it, but I'll also open it up so that it can experience love. A lot of times we think about our inner child as being inside the sacral chakra, right? The creative energies, our joy, our passions in life, the things that light us up. But it's also the way that we love, and we feel like, you know, think about like when we're little, a lot of kids are like cuddle bugs, right? And they just want to be friends with everything. Are we allowing ourselves to display that energy to a healthy degree, right? Not the unhealthy degree where we just naturally like magnetize to everybody and no matter what they do, and then our lives are a wreck and we wonder why. Not that energy, but the type of energy where it's like, you know, I trust myself to keep myself safe. And so I'm allowing myself to step into this energy of love and to meet you there until you show me that I shouldn't. And when you show me that I shouldn't, then I'll withdraw my energy. But until then, I'm going to allow my heart center to do what it's supposed to do, which is love. So that's kind of the energy that's going on here. For some of you, it's like forgiving your heart center and understanding that you don't have to have a war with it anymore, okay? Some of you, the war is forcing your heart center to stay connected to energies that are really unhealthy for you, okay? Usually this is because of some spiritual layer we add onto things. They're my soulmate, they're my twin flame, I'm supposed to be with them. And if we take a step back and we remove that layer, we realize we don't actually like the person, we don't like how they treat us, right? There's just some infatuation energy or some sort of story that we've learned to love. So for someone, there's a message there as well. Again, remember when I first started shuffling this deck, I had this feeling, well, did I shuffle? I don't remember. I had this feeling that, oh, now my time is getting all weird. Interesting. So I'll say that. Timing for somebody is starting to become strange. So maybe lots of deja vus, maybe even like losing track of time, feeling like, wow, the whole day went by and I don't even know what happened. Or maybe it's like, wait, I swore it was Tuesday and now it's Saturday. Like, time is doing weird things. And, you know, the heart, for me, the higher heart, it controls so much of our human experience and what keeps us here. And when we dive into the mysteries of that higher heart space, it's kind of like, there you go. So it's kind of like our 3D self and then our multi-dimensional self. To put it in kind of what I usually feel is very cringe, but our multi-dimensional self is coming into alignment with one another. So because of the perceptions opening up, time does move differently. Our deja vus move differently. For some of you who resonate with it, you may even experience like multiple timelines happening at once. So this is an energy that's happening because someone is essentially unblocking that higher heart space. So whoever this message is for, you've probably already learned a healthy bit about giving and receiving, okay? How to give, how to receive. So if people are trying to help you, if people are trying to give you something, you're not someone that's like, oh, I couldn't. You're like, okay, thank you. And you're well aware that you're also going to give later on down the line. So there's this energy of... the flow is now purging certain things, because that's what giving and receiving is. It's the natural flow of energy is now purging something out of that higher heart space, and it's bubbling things up. It's bringing things up to the mind to be processed, or up to the third eye to see. And there's something here that's very old that has been formulated over time. And the reason why I'm saying that is because inside of the mother card, we have the pearl. So this is something that has frustrated our energy system. It's something that has caused some pain. It's something, I'm going to say belief because that's probably what it is. Some sort of self-belief about the heart space, about the way that we love. I love too much, or, you know, I'm so angry that I feel so connected to people, or whatever the case is. That's what I'm finding in the collective right now, that it is. It's coming up for a lot of people. And whatever this belief or this feeling is, it's based on an old story. And so it's important to remember that. It's based on an old story, on an old pattern from an old person. So you are not the same person that you were in the past, who didn't have the skills and the abilities to have your boundaries, to keep yourself safe, to understand the red flags are red flags and shouldn't be swept under the goddamn rug, right? You're somebody who has basically learned these lessons, and because you've learned these lessons, it's okay to kind of crack that pearl. It's, you know, it's okay to look at it, it's okay to feel that, and it's okay to let that shed, because whatever this is, it is trying to shed. This is one of the almost lessons that I think somebody may be learning if you are communicating with this interdimensional being that's currently within your vicinity. The interesting thing about it is that, you know, there's like this massive catch-22, because as that heart space is trying to open, notice it's an experience coming in that for many of you, the way I'm feeling the energy is it's making you close off a little, like, ooh, what's going on? What's around me? I have to protect, right? And that's the opposite of what the heart space is trying to do, which is trying to open up. Obviously, if you feel that something is around you that's super negative and has your, you know, harm in mind, don't open up. But it's just interesting how, like, the paradox happens. The moment a person tries to open up their heart space, something happens to slam it shut, right? And so it's important to be aware of those cycles and those things, and rather than saying, oh, why does this always happen to me, understand it's how it happens. That's energy. That's how it works, right? So as you notice that there's this thing, if you are someone who it's making you kind of close off and feel like you need to protect and you need to close down your heart again, work through that, right? Work through that. Recognize that I can still be in this situation, have an open heart, and it doesn't mean I have to open my heart to this. It doesn't mean that I have to open my heart to, you know, XYZ in my life that winds up happening. That's what it means to be functional, is that the things outside of yourself, they don't necessarily dictate who you are. They don't necessarily dictate how you are operating internally. They might dictate how you behave, right? Okay. I think that's it. So I'm going to go over here. And I'm going to pull 2 cards and I'm here at the bottom. So this is what we're going to do. These are just messages for people. Oh, that one apparently is very needed. Okay. Oh, nope, bottom. Okay, bottom. Oh. Okay. I'm going to start with the bottom. Not for sale. Your priorities are clear. Your values are non-negotiable. Authenticity may not always pay, but it always aligns. Okay, and you can pause that to read it if you'd like. Hopefully it's focused. I do want to notice something that when I saw this card, it actually made me feel like the topic of this reading, that something is out of the cage and it's presenting itself. So it's almost like something here has been emitted, especially from that solar plexus energy. Our personal power has emitted. It's facing us in our 3D and it's trying to show us something. Okay. Karmic return, every action, every silence, every intention, it's all recorded in energy, and energy always seeks balance. Okay, I feel that's what's currently happening. And that was the one that was that came out pretty fast, so let's see. And then this one. Love is real. Love is not a myth. Your heartbreak just made it easier to spot what isn't. Don't let past wounds rewrite the truth. Don't do it. Okay, there you go. So I hope this resonates with you. If it does, please feel free to hit that like button. Feel free to leave me a comment. And until next time.